92% of the precincts, Virginia. It hasn't gone Republican in what, some 44 years, since 1964. That was the last time Virginia went for a Democratic presidential candidate. It was for LBJ back in 1964. But now Virginia and its electoral votes, we project, will go for Barack Obama. We're only a few seconds away from the top of the hour when these states will be closing, and there are some big ones, especially California, the largest state in the United States with 55 electoral votes. Hawaii, that's where Barack Obama was born. It will be closing its polls. Idaho, Oregon, and Washington states, both of those states have been going Democratic in presidential contests in recent years. So in a few seconds, those states will be closing their polls, and presumably we'll be able to see what's going on and make perhaps a major projection at that point. This is a moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. This is a moment that potentially could be rather historic. And CNN can now project that Barack Obama, 47 years old, will become the president-elect of the United States. We project he now has enough electoral votes, more than 270, more than enough to become the 44th president of the United States. This little-known U.S. senator only a few years ago, seemingly coming out of nowhere, delivering the Democratic Convention keynote address back at the convention in 2004, all of a sudden taking off, becoming a United States senator from Illinois, and now he will be the first African-American president of the United States. This is a moment so many people have been waiting for, and they're really excited, especially in Chicago. Let's listen in for a moment. see the crowds. They are exhilarated right now. Some 232 years after the Declaration of Independence, an African-American, a black man, has been elected President of the United States. He will become the President-elect. He will be inaugurated and sworn in on January 20th of next year. The hard work will really begin at this moment, but this is a moment right now that so many millions of people in the United States can celebrate, because Barack Obama will become the 44th President of the United States. Anderson?
Roland Martin, as you watch these pictures, as you think about this moment, your thoughts?
Obama's going to be sworn in on January 20th, 2009. 2009 will mark the 100th anniversary of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Obama got his start in politics in Springfield, Illinois. It was a race riot in Springfield, Illinois that led to the creation of the NAACP.
Bill Bennett?
I think I said everything I want to say. Pray for him, pray for the country. Congratulations. It's a great country. It's a great country, and I hope he's a great president.
David?
Yeah, Anderson, I went back to look at the last speech that Martin Luther King gave back in 1968. It was a day before he died. He was assassinated. And he said, I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. And it seems to me for an awful lot of people in this country, especially for African Americans, and Barack Obama said he's part of the Joshua generation, and Martin Luther King was our Moses, that we're much closer to that now. We haven't ended our prejudice, but there's something about this evening and this election that I think has made for an awful lot of people feel, you know, this is the Joshua generation. We can reach something we never thought we could reach 40, 50 years ago.
All right.
Well, I went and looked back at the Constitution, and the first sentence talks of our desire to form a more perfect union. We haven't done that, but we're still striving, and I think only the least gracious among us, no matter what your political philosophy, only the least gracious wouldn't say that this is a watershed moment for America.
Jeff?
You know, last year I was lucky enough to go to Madrid with my family. I went to the palace where the king always receives the President of the United States. It's one of these amazing European palaces. And I thought, what if Barack Obama is the symbol who walks through? What if he is the representative to the world of the United States? That is going to be such a transformational experience in terms of how the world sees us that I don't know if we can really figure it out, what it means at this point.
You know what, Angela, African-American parents for years, when their children said, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a politician, I want to be an astronaut, they always said, they could always point to an African-American who's achieved it. But whenever a kid said, I want to be president, I literally saw black parents say, son or daughter, you might think it needs something else. I have 9 nieces and 4 nephews. And when I talk to them, I can actually say that and mean it.
Bingo. That's it.
On the right-hand side of your screen, the images from Kenya, celebration there. We've been showing you images from around the world. Soledad O'Brien also watching, reaction here. Soledad, your thoughts?
When we were doing our documentary, Black in America, it was amazing to have people think about the promise that a Barack Obama election could bring. People didn't even want to speak about it specifically in case it were not to happen. African Americans, of course. There are so many issues in Black America, some of which we looked at, and his election will not solve those issues overnight, but what a symbol it sends, as Jeff said, outside this nation, and then inside this nation, the promise of how great America can be to all Americans, all of us, with the election, with the step forward of this one man. I think African Americans see this as such a historic and important moment. It's an incredible night.